We're going to go through a lot of information kind of quick so that I can give you some time to play around with Illustrator so that you can create your custom avatar that will save and upload in the next video, assuming that I have enough time. Now, to create this, first of all, our background is locked right now. So let's create a new layer at the bottom of the Layers panel. It's titled Layer 2. Let's double click that and retitle it as our art layer. It's where we're going to be able to put our art. Now, you've got a lot of tools over here to pick from, and I'm not going to go through all of them with you. I'm going to allow you to have some time to explore it, but I'm just going to jump back into kind of the generic tool. There's a bunch of them, the rectangle tool like we started before. And what I want to show you is a couple of the what are called modifier keys. You see, the modifier keys are all kind of where my left hand hovers over the keyboard when my right hand is on the mouse. If you're left-handed, sorry, I know it's a little more confusing or difficult to get used to. You can work how you would like. But the Shift key, the Control key, the Option key, and the Command key, those are modifier keys, meaning when I use them with a tool or as a shortcut, it changes the way it works. So if I use the rectangle tool, if I click and drag, you can see it grows from the corner. And with the smart guides, I do have some control, but you can have even a little more. You see, if I hold down Shift, well, look at that. That's what's called proportional lock. It's going to keep whatever your design is scaled and locked. No matter where I put my cursor, it stays as a perfect square. Now, if I hold down Option instead, you can see something grows from the middle. Cool. If I hold down Shift and Option, now I have a square that grows from the middle rather than if I let go, it grows from the corner again. Okay, so those are a couple. The Command and Control key are also going to give you several, but you can make your own shape. So if I make that shape, there we go. Now I can't see it. Why can't I see it? Well, it's the same color. Let's pick a new color to work with. Now, pick something that you think works with. We'll talk a little bit about color theory this semester, but colors do matter. It's not like you can blindly select a color. I'm actually going to use a slight change in blues, but I'm also going to make it a little darker version, kind of like something like that. All right, nothing spectacular, but at least it's not a hideous combination. You can work with colors as you would like. Now from here, whoops, there's something bonus for you. With the rectangle tool, if you just do a single click, it brings this box up. And what that is it will make a new rectangle the exact size of whatever the previous rectangle was. So I can tell you right now that this rectangle is exactly 255 pixels by 120 pixels, but I don't want to do that. Instead, I wanted to show you a trick. If I come up here and grab the Selection tool again, now we already know that that's how I can move an object, right? That's also how I can grab the side of an object to stretch it, the corner to make it tall, large, change the shape however I would like, okay? And probably the most important is another modifier. Hold down Shift, and that will keep it proportional. That's a very important one that we're going to use a lot through the semester. Now, once I have a shape, though, with the Selection tool, if you hold down Option, and now if I click and drag this, it's not going to move it. Instead, it creates a new copy of this exact shape. So kind of cool. And I can use my smart guides there to line that up so that they're perfectly in line with each other and drop it. Now that's good, and I could do that and repeat that. Or here's a shortcut for you. If you ever want to repeat the last step, process, move you did, well, we just copied that shape down that distance. Hit Command D. It does it again. Command D, it does it again and again and again and again. And you got lots of them. So it's this perfect changing or copying with the exact same move. That's pretty cool. That works well. In addition to that, if I wanted to, you know what? I'm actually going to delete those and show you what else. I forgot to show you how with the Selection tool, if I hover outside the corner, I could turn it. So you could create a rotation. So I'm going to go with a diagonal one. And again, Option, drag this guy out. Smart Guide still gets it perfect. And again, Command D, well, look at that. So it can do it at an angle as well. And I can go right off the artboard. This won't print, but I can still put things there. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Another tool that I definitely want to give you a quick look at is the Type tool. With the Type tool, You guys are all familiar from Word or PowerPoint. Whenever you want to type something, you always click and drag. Well, that's called the area type tool. And we very rarely want to use area type tool unless we are creating a brochure, a pamphlet where there's going to be paragraphs. Well, we're not going to use that very often. So I'm going to delete that, get rid of, actually select, get rid of that altogether. Instead of area type, what we're going to use is called point type. A single click. And you can see that drops down a little bit of type there, but it's not permanent as soon as I start typing. So let's do some, let's see, be very professional here. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, you type something down, I'm full of myself. Type something down, you can replace it, but it's area type, or I'm sorry, it's point type, which means it's not going to wrap around and fill that shape. You have control over it. And also, because now it's point type, you can grab the corner and make it larger. Now, don't stretch it. Don't stretch it and make it stretched that way or stretched tall. Hold down Shift. Remember, we talked about that. And it will keep it proportionate. Now, when you are on the type tool, you have the ability of a few options. You can change the color. Okay, what color do we want it? I'll go with a super, super light version of that, almost white. You know what? I don't like that. I'm going to go with a super, super dark version. There we go. It's pretty much black. But from there, I can also change the font to something that I would like instead. You may or may not have these same fonts. I don't know. I have a lot more fonts on my computer. Technically, I have like 10,000 fonts. So you may not have all of those. So I have that. I have the ability to sometimes change the weight. I can change it by point size, and there's some basic formatting that you might be familiar with. I can still change the color whenever I want. Double click that and you get to your Finder as well. But now I have some type as well. Just like with that, I can put it at an angle. Maybe I want to kind of mimic the angle of the shapes there. Now, this isn't going to work because that runs off my artboard. If I want that to be readable, it's got to be inside my artboard. So I'll have this go through here, and actually, well, that's a problem. I have it on my artboard. It's all confusing. Here's a step that I actually kind of skipped over is you want to put type or different elements on a different layer. So here's a trick to do it. If you accidentally put something like I did on the wrong layer, because I don't want my type on the art layer, I'm going to hit Command X. Do you guys know what that is? That's what's called cut. So what it did is it deleted it, but it's the same as copying it. Now I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to title this layer Type. And Command V, paste. Well, it just pasted that. It looks all the same, but now it's on a new layer. I can now lock that layer so that it doesn't move. And why would I do that? Because that allows me to grab this shape that was underneath there. I'm going to delete that because I kind of like the type under there. I can unlock that type layer. It still gives me here. It's not quite rotated. Now, here's another quick thing. Notice how that green shape box there is really difficult to see. If you ever don't like the color, you can see these colors represent those layers. If you don't like it, simply double click this empty space and change it to something that you think is a little more visible. There we go. So see how I can see that a little better. All right, so now this is not an awesome design by any sorts, but I've given you a little taste of tools. There's a lot more tools over here, and here's the thing. I want you to work in creating your own Gravatar right now. You can use any tools that you would like in Illustrator. I would like you to completely avoid Slice Tool. It's pointless for us. It's for web building, which we're not doing. Undoubtedly, somebody's going to hit the perspective grid and immediately say, whoa, what do I do with this, or how do I get rid of it? It's kind of a frustrating tool. It's a little more advanced. The simple way to get rid of it, which I just learned actually, is instead of trying to close it and do everything to locate it, is to go to View and Perspective Grid, whoops, and hide it. Or Shift-Command-I, right? Shift-Command-I. Makes it go away very easy, very quickly. So don't worry about using that one. Feel free to play around with these others. Do some experimentation. Create your own original design. Spend a while on this, okay? This isn't a, okay, I'm done, move on. This is use this time to play and experiment. I'm not going to go over these tools now. I will offer lots and lots of tutorials that will dive into tools individually much deeper. But for now, I want you to do some exploration because that's one of the best ways to learn. That's the way that I learned. I've learned advanced skills from a lot more tutorials and online lessons, but I learned this software by exploring, by messing up, by making mistakes, by learning from those mistakes. That's what I want you to do. So play around, explore, use 30, 40 minutes, use as much time as you want to create yours. But do some exploration. Don't be in a hurry to move on to the next quest. Next video, I will show you how to save this so that we'll actually be able to create our avatar.